Money is divine energy. When you align with the source, lack disappears. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever believed that money comes from your job, your boss, or your clients? It might look like it does, but the truth? Those are just channels, not the source. The real source of your money, of all your provision, is God, Spirit, infinite supply. As Florence Scovel Shinn beautifully said, God is my supply. I do not look to man. I do not look to circumstance. I look to God, and that changes everything. 1. Money is a physical expression of spiritual energy. Money isn't just paper bills, credit cards, or numbers on a screen. It's energy, living energy, a reflection of giving and receiving, a mirror of your trust, your flow, and your faith. It doesn't show up because you hustle harder. It shows up because you align with your source, and that source is infinite. I do not earn supply through effort. I receive supply through trust. When you start seeing money as spiritual, not just material, you'll stop chasing it and start receiving it. 2. The source never runs dry. Your job may change, the economy might shift, markets may crash, but God never does. Your divine source is unlimited. It doesn't get nervous during a recession. It doesn't shrink when you get laid off. It remains abundant, generous, and ready to provide. Always. I let go of anxiety and I claim my supply. When you truly believe that, fear has no power over you. Scarcity loses its grip because you're connected to a well that never runs out. 3. Fear blocks the flow. Let's be honest, we've all been there. We check our bank account, panic, and start thinking things like, what if I can't pay the bills? What if I lose everything? What if this is all there is? That fear is not harmless. It's not logical. It's not being realistic. It's spiritual interference. You can't align with divine abundance and be in fear at the same time. You cannot serve both fear and faith. Fear shuts the door. Faith opens the floodgates. 4. Your job is a channel, not the source. Your employer isn't your source. Your business isn't your source. They're just delivery methods. And if one door closes, God has 1,000 others waiting, maybe even ones you've never dreamed of. I do not chase, I attract. What is mine flows to me in divine timing. Your job is to trust the source, not to control the how, the who, or the when. 5. The more you give, the more you become. A conduit for wealth. When you realize money is spiritual, you stop hoarding it like it's going to run out. You start to flow it, bless it, and circulate it. And what you give comes back multiplied. The money I spend returns tenfold. Money is like water. If you hold on to it too tightly, it stagnates. But if you let it flow, it renews itself. Giving isn't losing. Giving is expanding. 6. Start speaking truth over your finances. This is where Florence's genius shines. She knew that your words are not just sounds, they're spiritual instructions. Every time you declare, God is my source. Large sums of money come to me under grace, in perfect ways. I do not stress, I receive. You're not just saying nice things, you're activating spiritual law. So speak with power. Speak like it's already yours, because spiritually, it is. Conclusion: you're not meant to struggle. Here's the truth. You were never meant to live in lack. You were never meant to hustle from dawn till dusk, just to make ends meet. You were born to live in alignment with divine supply. I don't need to see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it. The source, your divine source, has never stopped flowing. Maybe it's time you stop blocking it with doubt, fear, and control. Let go, trust, receive. Because when God is your supply, you'll never lack again. Words create reality. Speak what you want, not what you fear. If God is your supply, and He is, then the way you tap into that supply is through the words you speak. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your words are not just sounds. They are creative commands that shape your world. You're not simply commenting on reality. You're programming it. I speak the word of abundance, and the word becomes flesh. When you speak, you're either activating fear or you're activating faith, and only one of those builds a life you love. Your words are instructions to the universe. Every time you say something, you're giving your subconscious and the universe clear instructions. So when you say, "I can't afford that," money's always tight. It's hard to make a living these days. You're not just expressing frustration. You're reinforcing scarcity as your reality. Now compare that to, "Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. What is mine cannot be delayed. I attract wealth with peace and trust." See the difference? One shuts down your receiving. The other activates the law of increase. Affirmations aren't wishful thinking. They're spiritual technology. Affirmations aren't just positive thinking. They're not some fluffy idea you whisper hoping for luck. They're spiritual code. Each time you say something in alignment with divine truth and mean it, you're shifting the energy around you. You're sending a frequency into the field that draws back matching experiences. That's why Florence said, "I do not speak empty words. My words are seeds. I plant them in faith, and I expect the harvest." Repetition is reprogramming your mind, especially your subconscious. Learns by repetition. The more you affirm abundance with certainty, the more your inner world starts to believe it. And once your inner world believes it, your outer world has to reflect it. You don't need 100 different affirmations. You need a few that resonate with truth, and the discipline to speak them daily. Let one of them be, "God is my source, I lack nothing," and repeat it every morning until you believe it like you believe the sun will rise. Das som gimbug speak as if it's already yours. Because spiritually, it is. Florence said, "I do not need to see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it." That means you don't wait for the bank account to change before you speak abundance. You speak it now. You praise it now. You thank it now. Not because you're delusional, but because you're operating from spirit, not circumstances. Spiritually, your provision is already done. When you speak from that truth, you're pulling it from the invisible to the visible. Don't just say the words, feel them. Words without emotion are like seeds thrown on concrete. They won't take root. But when you speak with emotion, with gratitude, with authority, you activate something far more powerful than positive thinking. You activate knowing. So when you say, "All that I need flows to me now," don't just say it. Close your eyes, see it, feel the peace of already having it. let that frequency take over. What not to say. Cut the language of lack. Let's be real. Many of us sabotage our abundance without realizing it. Phrases like, just my luck. Another bill? Of course. It's always something. May feel harmless, but they're agreements with lack. Florence would call that speaking failure into form. So be intentional, catch yourself, and flip the script. Instead of, money doesn't grow on trees, say, divine supply is unlimited, and I am aligned with it. Instead of, I never have enough, say, what is mine flows freely and fully. There is more than enough. Words, beliefs, energy, results. Let's connect the dots. 1. Your words shape your. 2. Beliefs, which determine your 3. Energy, which attracts your 4. Results. So if you want different results, more money, more peace, more flow, you don't start with your bank account. You start with your mouth. Powerful affirmations you can use today. Here are some of Florence-inspired affirmations you can speak aloud each day. I am a magnet for divine riches. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily, under grace. God is my source. I am fully provided for. What is mine is already making its way to me. I speak abundance. I expect increase. I walk in overflow. Say them with joy. Say them with conviction. Say them until they feel like the most natural thing in the world. When you align your words with truth, you align your life with abundance. The source is ready. Now speak like you believe it. Faith unlocks the flow. You don't earn it. You align with it. You don't have to hustle your way to abundance. You don't have to force, strive, manipulate, or prove yourself worthy. You just have to believe. Florence Scovel Shinn made it clear, you do not earn supply through effort. You receive supply through trust. Faith isn't passive. Faith is power. It's the spiritual currency that opens the doors no effort ever could. Yeshua, the faith says, it's done, even when you don't see it. Yet most people believe what they see, but those who walk in divine abundance, they see what they believe. Faith says, the money is already here, I'm just catching up to it. The door is already open, I'm just walking toward it. My provision is already released, I'm just aligning with it. When you stop obsessing over what's missing and start celebrating what's coming, you shift your frequency from lack to overflow. And that shift, that's when the miracles start to move. You don't have to know how, you just have to know who. Faith isn't about having the whole plan, it's about knowing the provider. I do not look to man, I look to God, and God never fails. And that means even if your bank account is low, even if your business is quiet, even if the opportunity hasn't shown up yet, you don't panic, you don't shrink, you don't hustle harder. You stand in knowing. You stay in peace. You stay in praise. Because you know the source, and the source is faithful. Doubt delays. Faith releases. When you start doubting, you start delaying. You speak hesitation. You send mixed signals. You cut the flow. But when you walk in faith, you speak clearly. You expect boldly. You open wide. Florence said, what is mine cannot be delayed. But she didn't say that out of wishful thinking. She said it from unshakable faith in divine order. The faith is a frequency Tune into it. Daily. You don't build faith by accident. You build it on purpose. You feed it with affirmations spoken with heart, gratitude even before it shows up, meditation and stillness, remembering past miracles, repeating truth louder than fear. Every day, you choose your station, faith or fear, flow or force, alignment or anxiety. Only one brings peace. Only one opens doors. Only one attracts the overflow. Faith feels like rest, but it activates everything. When you're truly in faith, your body relaxes, your heart slows down, your mind gets quiet, your spirit softens, because you're no longer striving to make things happen. You're allowing what's already yours to arrive. I rest in this truth. I relax into this knowing. I don't chase, I attract. The world will tell you to do more, but Spirit says, be still. No. Watch me work. Faith doesn't just change outcomes, it changes you. Faith doesn't just get you things, it transforms who you are. From anxious to anchored, from striving to surrendered, from reactive to radiant, you become magnetic, you become calm, you become unshakable, no matter what's happening around you. Because your identity is no longer tied to results, it's tied to truth. Gango faith, plus a word, plus source, an overflow. Let's bring it all together. 1. You're connected to the source. 2. You speak words of truth. 3. You walk by faith. This is the divine formula for overflow. It's not magic. It's not superstition. It's spiritual law. When you align with the source, speak with power, and walk in faith, you can't help but receive. The gates open, the money flows, the ideas land, the people show up, the timing aligns, and all of it under grace, in perfect ways. Florence didn't say you'd never face fear. She said you'd choose faith anyway. And when you do, heaven moves on your behalf. The law of divine timing and perfect order. It's already on the way. Let's get one thing straight. You're not behind. You're not late. You haven't missed it. What's meant for you is not lost. It's not stolen. It's simply in divine motion, moving toward you right now. On heaven's schedule, not yours. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of divine timing and perfect order. And it's not just a feel-good concept, it's spiritual law. Divine timing isn't delayed, it's designed. We live in a world that glorifies speed. Get rich quick. Overnight success. Move fast or miss it. But Spirit doesn't rush. God isn't panicked. Your supply isn't on Amazon Prime. It's on divine time. And guess what? Divine time is always on time. What is mine flows to me with divine timing and divine order. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. You just have to trust the rhythm of grace. Let go of the clock. Anchor in faith. When we're not seeing results, our first instinct is to push harder. Maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I said the wrong words. Maybe I need to manifest faster. No, maybe you just need to trust deeper. Divine timing isn't about waiting in frustration. It's about resting in confidence. It's not passive. It's peaceful. I do not need to see evidence before I believe in its power. I believe, and the evidence follows. Perfect order means everything has its place and its pace. You may feel like things are out of control, but behind the scenes, something beautiful is unfolding. The missed opportunity, protection, the delay, alignment, the closed door, redirection, the silence, preparation. What belongs to me cannot miss me. What is meant for me is already moving toward me. Your life is not random, it's orchestrated by divine intelligence. You are not wandering, you are being guided. If you're in the waiting season, you're in the growing season. You don't plant a seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it's working. You water it, you believe in it. You let time do what only time can do. That's divine timing. Some of your biggest blessings are being built in the unseen. Don't curse the process just because you can't see the fruit yet. Even when I do not see it, it is working. Even when I do not feel it, it is working. The law of perfect order means everything unfolds right on time, even if it's not on your timeline. In the doors you're meant to walk through will open, no forcing needed. You don't have to pound on every door. You don't have to scream, beg, or manipulate. You don't have to bribe the universe. Just stay faithful, stay aligned, because every door I need is opening now. All gates are unlocked, all barriers are dissolved. That's not poetic, that's truth in motion. What's yours won't require force, it will require faith. Speak in alignment with divine timing. Here are some affirmations to anchor this law. I trust divine timing in all things. I release the urge to rush. I rest in perfect order. What is mine is already on its way, and it's arriving right on time. Delay is not denial, it's divine design. God's timing is better than my deadlines. Say them not to convince, but to align, because your words shape your beliefs shape your vibration, and your vibration invites your harvest. Don't let urgency hijack your spirit. Impatience is just another form of fear, and fear is the fastest way to disconnect from flow. The ego says, it's not happening fast enough, but spirit says, it's happening exactly as it should. The truth is, you don't want it fast, you want it right. You want the blessing that's fully formed, aligned with your growth, and arriving at the exact moment your hands are ready to receive. Divine timing is grace in motion. When things show up too early, we're not ready. When they show up too late, we're discouraged. But when they show up on time, they feel like confirmation, not coincidence. So take a deep breath. Stop fighting the clock. Start trusting the calendar of the infinite. I now relax. I now release. I now receive. You're not waiting. You're aligning. The power of gratitude and praise, multiplying your blessings. If you've aligned with the source, if you've spoken the truth, if you've walked in faith and trusted the timing, now it's time to do the one thing that accelerates the entire process. Give thanks and praise before you even see the result. Because in the spiritual realm, gratitude is not a reaction. It's a vibration. It doesn't just acknowledge what has happened. It attracts what's about to happen. Florence Scovel Shinn taught this deeply. Gratitude is the law of increase. Complaining is the law of decrease. Gratitude doesn't wait. It activates. Most people say, I'll be grateful when the money shows up. I'll be thankful if the opportunity works out. But that's not how it works in the kingdom. Gratitude doesn't come after the blessing. Gratitude is what brings the blessing. I give thanks in advance. I praise the unseen. I bless the process. Gratitude says, it's already done. It's already mine. It's already flowing. And when you live in that state of knowing, heaven can't help but respond. Praise multiplies what you have. Whatever you bless, grows. Whatever you complain about, shrinks. That's not just emotional. It's energetic law. It's the law of increase. So even if you're holding just a little, bless it. Bless your $10 bill. Bless your empty wallet for what's coming. Bless the one client, the one sale, the one breakthrough. Say, I bless the money I have, and it multiplies. I praise every dollar that has come into my life, and I open to receive more. What you're doing is affirming trust, and trust opens gates. Words of praise are seeds of abundance. Praise isn't just clapping your hands or saying thank you out loud. It's declaring the goodness you see, and the goodness you believe is on the way. Thank you, God, for what's already mine. I bless this day. I bless this opportunity. I bless what I can't yet see. I am surrounded by grace. I am covered by favor. I am walking in increase. You're not trying to convince the universe. You're speaking from conviction. And when you speak praise with power, you shift from asking mode to receiving mode. V'yisuroth gratitude is magnetic. It attracts more of what you're grateful for. Here's the secret. Your subconscious mind seeks consistency. So when you say, I'm thankful for abundance, it begins to look for evidence to prove that statement. You'll notice a refund that used to feel small. A compliment will land deeper. A minor win will feel major. And as your awareness increases, so does your vibration. And as your vibration rises, so does your magnetism. That's how praise becomes a cycle of increase. You don't just thank God for what happened. You thank Him for what's on the way. And in doing so, you call it in faster. Blessings flow freely. Where praise lives, some people wonder, why does it seem like things always work out for them? It's not luck. It's not favoritism. It's alignment. They've chosen to praise through the process, not just at the finish line. They've learned the secret. Gratitude is a portal. Praise is a multiplier. When you praise your way through the in-between, you stay in the current of flow. You're no longer waiting. You're welcoming. Use praise when doubt creeps in. You know the moment. The fear starts whispering. The clock keeps ticking. You're tempted to complain, to question, to quit. That's exactly when you flip the switch and say, thank you for what I cannot see yet. Thank you that the answer is already forming. Thank you that what is mine cannot miss me. Praise is how you speak faith into your atmosphere and silence the noise of fear. Speak these truths, daily Florence-inspired affirmations of praise and gratitude. I give thanks for what I have, and I open to what's next. Irte. I praise every seed, and I bless the harvest. My supply multiplies as I bless it. I live in the atmosphere of answered prayer. Every good thing is already moving toward me, and I receive it with joy. Gratitude, praise, multiplication. This is not a mindset trick. This is spiritual law in motion. You align with the source. You speak with truth. You walk by faith. You trust divine timing. You praise what is and what's coming. And the result? Overflow, not just enough, more than enough. Because praise doesn't just recognize blessings, it multiplies them. The law of non-resistance, letting it flow without force. There's a moment on your spiritual journey when you realize it's not about trying harder, it's about letting go. That's the essence of the law of non-resistance, one of the most powerful truths Florence Scovel Shinn ever taught. What resists, persists. What you let go of, flows. This isn't passivity, this is spiritual alignment. Because when you stop forcing life, life finally has the space to move for you. Stop pushing, start trusting. When you're resisting, you're saying, it has to happen this way. It needs to look like this. I need it now. That's fear trying to control the outcome. But when you release resistance, you declare, I trust the process. I trust the timing. I trust the source. And in that trust, the flow opens up. Things begin to unfold, not because you forced them, but because you got out of the way. Resistance blocks the flow. Every time you resist, you tighten up your energy. You stress, you overthink. You hold your breath. You close off the very channels meant to bless you. It's like clenching your fist around water. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. But when you release control, the stream of divine supply can reach you. I do not push, I allow. I do not grip, I let flow. What is mine comes in ease, not effort. Allowing doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you do it without struggle. This is important. Non-resistance doesn't mean you sit on the couch and wait. It means you take inspired action, without attachment to outcome, without panic in the process, without trying to force it into your limited version of what should be. I show up, but I don't strain. I follow nudges, but I don't chase. I do my part, and let spirit do the rest. You become a co-creator, not a controller. Let it flow, let it rise, let it come. Florence said it beautifully. I let it come. I let it flow. I let it rise. When you stop resisting, the money starts arriving from unexpected sources. The opportunities unfold without you begging. The relationship softens because you stopped forcing them to change. You become magnetic, not desperate. You live in receiving, not chasing. You become a clear vessel for what you've already declared. Non-resistance is a faith practice. Letting go isn't always easy, but it's necessary. Sometimes you'll want to cling. Sometimes you'll want to grab the wheel. But the law is clear. What you fight, fights back. What you release, realigns. Letting go is how you demonstrate faith. Letting go is how you tell the universe, I trust you more than my own timeline. And in that surrender, there is safety. There is softness. There is speed. What if it doesn't happen like you planned? Here's the good news. If it doesn't happen your way, it's probably happening better. That job you didn't get made room for one that fits your calling. That deal that fell through cleared the path for something more aligned. That delay gave you time to grow. When you let go of how and when, you make room for divine creativity to surprise you. I don't need to know the way. I trust the waymaker. Affirmations of non-resistance. Speak these when you feel yourself holding on too tightly. I let go of control, and I receive with grace. I release all resistance, and I return to peace. I trust that what is mine will never miss me. I move in flow, not force. I surrender the how and allow the wow. These aren't just words, they are reminders that ease is not weakness, it's wisdom. Release, relax, receive. So breathe deep, unclench your heart, loosen your grip. Remember, you're not here to twist God's arm. You're here to open your hands and receive. Because the law of non-resistance isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing it from a place of trust, peace, and alignment. I let go. I let flow, and I watch it grow. Your magnetism, becoming a vessel for divine riches. By now, you've aligned with your source. You've spoken truth. You've walked by faith. You've trusted the timing. You've given thanks. You've surrendered control. So here's the next step in divine prosperity. Activate your magnetism, because abundance isn't something you chase. It's something you attract. I am a magnet for divine riches. I draw all that is mine by right of consciousness. Florence didn't just believe in working hard. She believed in becoming energetically aligned with what you want. What is magnetism? Magnetism isn't about charm, looks, or personality. It's about frequency. It's the invisible energy field you create when you think in alignment, speak with conviction, move with purpose, believe with power, rest in trust. You don't become magnetic by trying to get more. You become magnetic by knowing you already are more. I am already rich in the unseen. I am already abundant in truth. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You can wish, dream, and visualize all day long. But if your energy is rooted in lack, fear, desperation, or hustle, that's what you're broadcasting. That's what you're pulling back. You don't attract money by craving it. You attract money by becoming the version of yourself who's already at ease with it. Calm, grateful, trusting, open, worthy. My magnetism is in my energy, not my effort. Becoming magnetic is about embodiment, not just affirmation. Affirmations are powerful, but without alignment, they're just noise. Magnetism is when your belief, body language, and behavior say the same thing. I am safe to receive. I am open to overflow, while I am worthy of wealth. I don't chase, I draw. When that energy becomes your default, money finds you, opportunities find you, favor follows you. Stillness is magnetic. In a loud world, stillness is rare. When you carry peace, you carry power. You don't flinch at the bills. You don't panic when it's quiet. You don't spiral when things take time. You stand in knowing. What is mine is already in motion. So what belongs to me is already seeking me. Your calm becomes your calling card. Your peace becomes your proof. Your energy speaks before you do. That's magnetism. Magnetism comes from alignment, not performance. Let this sink in. You don't need to be perfect to attract wealth. You don't need to manifest harder. You don't need to hit 10K followers or check a list of rituals. You just need to be in alignment. Alignment with truth, trust, timing, gratitude, non-resistance. When those elements come together, You don't just want blessings, you become a vessel for them. How to increase your magnetism daily. Here's your spiritual calibration. 1. Morning stillness. Begin with silence. Tune in before you tune out. I align with divine flow today. 2. Speak truth. Declare what's already yours. I am magnetic to divine opportunities. 3. Bless what you have, every dollar, every moment, every breath. I praise the present and welcome more. 4. Visualize from the end, not what if, but it is. I see myself already living in the outcome. 5. Release. Pressure. Ease expands. Stress constricts. What is mine cannot be blocked. Florence-inspired declarations of magnetism. I am a divine magnet. I draw miracles daily. My energy is safe, strong, and receptive. I am in harmony with riches of every kind. I attract not just money, but the peace to enjoy it. I radiate trust and receive with grace. Your magnetism is the delivery system for divine supply. Think of it like this. Your prayers are placed. Your words are clear. Your faith is set. Your blessings are shipped. Now, magnetism is the open door. It's what says to the universe, I'm home, I'm ready. Deliver here. And what's yours always finds its way home. Overflow living, staying in the flow of abundance. You weren't born to just survive. You were born to overflow, to have enough and more than enough, to be blessed and be a blessing, to live not in lack or hustle, but in flow. My cup overflows. I live in the rhythm of divine supply. There is always more where that came from. Overflow isn't just a moment. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's a spiritual position. Badesisuwak overflow begins in belief, not in the bank. Most people wait until they see excess to feel abundant. But spiritual overflow starts in your consciousness, not in your wallet. If you believe, there's always enough. I am fully supported. God is my endless source. Then guess what? You begin to live like it. You give freely. You think creatively. You receive joyfully. You stop holding on from fear and start flowing from trust. I live in the energy of more than enough, and more always finds me. Flow is circular, not linear. In the world system, it's always earn, save, spend, repeat. But in the divine system, it's receive, circulate, expand, multiply. Money, favor, ideas, connections. They move like water, not bricks. They're not meant to sit still. They're meant to flow through you. The more you trust the movement, the more the movement trusts you. You're not a container. You're a conduit overflow. Living means you're not just storing up blessings. You're letting them flow through your life. You're generous with what you have. You release what no longer serves you. You trust that what leaves your hand never leaves your life. Florence put it this way: the giving opens the gate of receiving. You're not losing when you give. You're making room for more. Overflow is a state of inner stillness, not outer excess. Overflow isn't about how many cars, zeros, or luxury vacations you can accumulate. It's about walking through life with this knowing, I have more than enough for this moment, and more is on the way, always. That's the vibration that calls in clarity, calm, and increase. You don't fear the dip in your account. You don't stress when a bill shows up. You don't panic when plans shift. You stay rooted. You stay relaxed. You stay in flow. Principles of overflow. Living here are 5 principles to keep you in the stream. 1. Circulation over hoarding. I let it move, and it returns multiplied. 2. Trust over tension. I don't squeeze what's mine. I steward it in peace. 3. Generosity over scarcity. I am a giver, and givers never run dry. 4. Expansion over control. I don't limit how or where the blessing comes. 5. Daily gratitude. Every time I give thanks, I strengthen the flow. These principles don't just keep abundance flowing to you. They keep abundance flowing through you. Affirmations for overflow living. I am living in overflow, financially, spiritually, emotionally. More than enough is my new normal. I trust divine supply to meet and exceed every need. I am surrounded by blessings, and I am a blessing. The more I give, the more I receive. The more I flow, the more I grow. Say them, feel them, embody them, not just once, but as a way of life. Overflow becomes your identity. You're not trying to be abundant. You are abundant. You're not hoping for overflow. You're anchored in it. Because overflow isn't something you strive for. It's something you surrender to. And once you learn to live in that frequency, lack becomes irrelevant, pressure disappears, and you finally walk in the reality that was always yours. Overflow is not a reward. It's your divine inheritance. Living the Shinn Way, a new life in divine flow. You've now seen the truth. God is your source. Your words carry creative power. Faith unlocks the supply. Timing is always perfect. Gratitude multiplies. Resistance blocks. Magnetism attracts. Overflow is your birthright. Scarcity is just a script you can delete. This is not just information. This is your initiation into a new way of living, the Shinn Way. It's not a one-time shift. It's a lifelong flow. You don't arrive and then coast. You align every day. You check in. You stay connected. You return to truth. Because life will test your peace. People will trigger your old patterns. Fear will come knocking. But now, you have the tools. You know how to speak abundance when lack tries to speak louder. Trust divine order when things seem out of place. Breathe through delays, not panic in them. Give thanks even when the harvest hasn't shown up. Let go when control starts creeping in. Open your energy when stress wants you to shut down. That's the Shinn Way. It's not just theology, it's transformation. But the goody furrows from hustle to harmony. The old way says, grind harder. Prove yourself. Get ahead. There's not enough. But the Shinn Way says, rest in divine supply. Speak what is yours. Move in trust, not tension. There's always more where that came from. Florence didn't teach you to chase. She taught you to know, to declare, and to receive. Not by force, but by faith. As you respect your life in divine flow, what does it look like? You wake up with clarity, not confusion. You walk with confidence, not comparison. You handle money with peace, not panic. You bless your desires instead of judging them. You ask, expect, and allow, without begging. You give freely, knowing it all comes back multiplied. You release timelines and trust divine ones. You don't wait for your life to stabilize to feel safe. You feel safe because you know I am supported. I am supplied. I am sustained. Declarations to anchor the Shinn Way. I walk in divine flow every day. What's mine finds me easily and effortlessly. I don't chase blessings, I align with them. I give thanks in advance, and I always receive. I live in trust, I speak in truth, I move in grace. This is my new normal, a life of abundance, peace, and ease. Let these words become your new inner dialogue, because when your spirit shifts, everything else catches up. You are the vessel, you are the portal, you are the proof. You don't need to preach it, you'll live it, and others will feel it. The way you hold money, the way you speak life, the way you walk in rooms with quiet certainty, the way you release without fear and receive without guilt. You become the living, breathing evidence of what happens when someone puts source first, chooses truth over fear, lets go of force and embraces flow, speaks what they seek and watches it show up. This is just the beginning. You haven't reached the end. You've arrived at the entry point to everything you've been praying for. This journey is not just about money. It's about wholeness. It's about harmony. It's about spiritual integrity. It's about living like someone who remembers who they are, a divine vessel, a worthy receiver, a faithful creator, a peaceful magnet, a living testimony to the law of spirit. Final word. Florence said, "There is a place that you are to fill, and no one else can fill. Something you are to do which no one else can do. So go live it, speak it, walk it, bless it, give thanks for it. Because when you live in divine flow, your life becomes the message. And the message is simple. Abundance is your birthright, and it is already yours.